MKIceAndFire, the underworld's favorite new scoundrel.
Star Wars Outlaws. Now, against my better nature and all the middling reviews that have come out about this video game, I wanted to play this game since I first saw the trailer. And I'm such a big Star Wars fan that I was like, you know what, let me try this game out, even if, you know, Star Wars has sucked for who knows how long at this point. But I was like, you know what, I'm going to play this game when it's on sale. And, you know, I'm going to give it the old college try. I looked at it and I was like, this looks like a mid experience, you know, a real like 6 out of 10. And so I waited until, you know, the holidays and until this game was pretty much on sale. And as I was thinking about even acquiring this game, they put out a statement being like, hey, we're going to do some major updates. We're going to fix a lot of the problems that people have with this game. And, you know, kind of hope to bring more life into this video game. So I was like, okay, cool, even better. I need something to keep myself busy until Dynasty Warriors Origins came out. I'll make a video on that for next week. But yeah, so I ended up getting this game at like $45, which I think was still high. I kind of wanted it to be like 30. But I bought this game, and after putting in, I think like 20 hours into it, yeah, this game is mid. It is a 6 out of 10. It is what I would call a Metasaurus Rex because I'm weird and corny. But yeah, I gotta say this game has it's not bad. Again, it's 6 out of 10. I think this game looks really good. I like the way that the blaster feels, and you do have some variety in terms of like just regular, you know, single bolts or like, you know, rapid fire. There's like explosives and you know, kind of like shock, and all of that felt pretty decent. It was nothing to write home about, but I was like, okay, this feels good enough. The speeder is good. Again, I'm playing the fixed version, so who knows who I was before. But I was like, all right, cool. This is like a decent game. It's kind of nice to like sneak around a little bit, but now you have the option to just kind of like run and gun, which is usually how I play games. I'll like sneak around, take a couple people out. I usually get caught, and then I just like full on just like murder everyone. So I was like, cool, this works for me now that they've updated this game. Well, even sneaking around, right, real quick. The fact that she can just like knock out a stormtrooper in like 1 or 2 punches, it makes no sense, but it kind of makes me feel a little more like a badass. And I was like, all right, cool, this works, even though it makes no logical sense really. That, you know, turn the brain off, I'm forgetting the term that I'm thinking about, but you know, just kind of like hand wave it away. And I did enjoy the I can't think, dude. The like syndicate system of like, all right, do you wanna team up and do missions with this person or like this group or that group? And I think it worked for me personally because the way I played was like, all right, I'm gonna pick one, and I'm just gonna go full on and just commit to them, and everyone else can kind of fall to the wayside. And that really worked for me because I ended up pissing off the Pikes, and like anytime I stepped out, they sent a kill squad for me, which I think made the game a little more intense and made me feel even more like an outlaw. So I was like, all right, cool. But you're probably hearing all this and being like, okay, so what's the issues with it? Well, I had I would probably say like 4 or 5 like major issues that I wanted to go over that really just drag this game down. This has more issues than that, but I just wanted to kind of highlight these ones that really bothered me, and we're going to start off with the smallest one, which is the speeder. My issue with the speeder is just the general design of it. If you grew up on, you know, the original trilogy, you're thinking of kind of the elongated speeder. I'll put a picture, but you're thinking of the classic speeder. So when you see a speeder and it looks a little more like a moped, like the one from like almost like the Boba Fett show, it's like, why did you do this? Like I think you were trying to like have her stand out, you know, kind of have her own thing. But I'd rather have the classic. Like, and the thing about the game is everyone and their mama has the classic speeder. And even though this is called Star Wars Outlaws, there's no splash of GTA in this game. You can't steal a speeder. You can't, you know, get in trouble, and you there's no option to like get a new speeder. You're stuck with yours. And again, I don't like the design, and it's just like, why would you not think to let me have their original, or at least steal one, get my kind of like my stars, my crime level up, and have me like be chased or whatever, and just have more of that like GTA feel in a game called Star Wars Outlaws. It just didn't make any sense to me, and I was like, I don't know if you're gonna fix the game, how you didn't give me some sort of option. Like, as far as I know, there's no way to get one, even if you got like a collector's edition or whatever. It's just this ass looking one, and I was just like, this is stupid. It's like if I played Jedi Survivor and your lightsaber was like pink, and they were like, yeah, you can't change to like blue, green, or any of the classic colors, you're stuck with this one thing. And it's like, why would you think that I wanted that? This is Star Wars, I want the classic stuff. So I don't know, maybe it's small, but it was definitely like a little knock for me, which is why I started off with this one. But one of the biggest issues of this game is Nyx. And listen, I get it. You love Star Wars loves the little guys. He's a cute little guy. I love pets. I got nothing against him personally. But my problem is, one, Star Wars, again, keeps putting in these small little guys ever since The Force Awakens, right? We had BB-8, we had BD-1, they got Grogu, and now they's like Nyx, and they're like, oh, they're gonna love them, they're gonna buy the toys, and blah, 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 blah. Nyx just doesn't stand out because they really don't do anything with him. And my biggest issue is that the game wants you to do so much with Nyx that they won't let you forget that he's there. Literally, anytime that you're sneaking around, you want to just straight up open a door or like grab some scrap metal just sitting on the side. It's like, L1, you want Nyx to do it? You want Nyx to do it? Nyx is here. You want him to do it? Maybe. And it's like, no, I don't. I got it. I got hands. You know what I mean? I can just grab it. I can just open the door. And then I noticed that in a handful of times that I was trying to be sneaky, and I was like, all right, Nyx, go like disable this alarm or like turn off the door or what have you. He would be spotted by a stormtrooper. And I was like, well, I'm getting less caught, me, full body human, sneaking around than sending out my little axolotl buddy to go do something for me. So I really didn't feel like I needed to use him. And there are some parts of the game where there's like, okay, cool, I gotta press that button, but I clearly can't fit over there. Oh, look, there's a little hole. All right, let me send Nyx to do it. Oh, there's a little panel. For some reason, I can't open this panel. Let me get Nyx to do it. The only time he really seemed useful was the times, and this is just because of bad game design, where I'm in a firefight and I'm backing up into a door or like a corridor or something, and the door closes and you have to do the animation to open the door, but if you open the door, they immediately start blasting you. So there were times where I would have to like kind of get to cover and be like, Nyx, go open the door, and so he could open the door and I can start blasting. But again, it's not because I wanted to use him, it's because the game forced me to use him, because there was no way for me to open the door and not immediately start getting blasted. And so it was just like, I don't know why he's here other than to like sell toys and be like, look, there's the cute guy. And even in the story, like, no spoilers, there's a big part where Nyx is involved and you have to kind of like do something. And I found myself thinking like, cool, am I doing this because I like Nyx, or am I doing this because Nyx is a cute little thing? And as I was doing said thing of the story, I was like, I'm just doing this because he's a cute little thing. Like, you put another cute little thing in this position and I'd be like, all right, cool. Like, I gotta go save the cute thing. There's nothing about Nyx that was making me be like, I gotta save him specifically. Now, if it was BD-1, I'm full Anakin, all right? You take BD-1 or something like that, like something happens to BD-1, the men, the women, the children, it's dunsies. But Nyx, I could care less, and this game wants you to care so much. It is very much like, almost like your friend that has a cute pet, or they just had their baby and they're like, look, and they keep just showing. It's like, I got it, dude. I get it. All right, it's cute. I understand. The next biggest thing is K-Vess herself. Now, let me just say, the voice actress, gorgeous. All right, I don't know how you see her and then you go, let's make this character instead, because they're just like, she's literally right there. And then, as you know, sometimes game companies be listening to the vocal minority, and so many of people nowadays are like, oh, all my characters are too manly because it's a woman with muscles. And it's like, well, if you have, you know, an actress that looks like this, why would you give me this? I rather look at her. But that's just my personal preference. So I didn't I never really liked the way that Kay was designed, but that's not really my problem with her. My problem with her is, and this is, I guess, Angel's advocate for her. So the game trailers basically like, hey, you want to be a female Han Solo type? Here's the game for you, right? And I feel like that's what all the trailers were.
Where in the galaxy you can hide.
You want to live? Get in with the underworld's most dangerous syndicates. And pull off the greatest heist the Outer Rim has ever seen.
And when you actually start playing the game, it turns out like, oh no, she's not in this world really. She is a petty thief that's clearly done a couple jobs before, but like she is just now kind of getting into the whole crime syndicate part of the galaxy. So she's meeting people for the first time that are in these groups, and she's like asking for like obvious stuff like, oh, I need a blaster part. Can you give that to me? And they're like, no, who are you? Maybe you could do this for me, and maybe I'll get you that. And she's like, oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, that's not how. Yeah, sure. And she just seems completely incompetent. So if you went in expecting her to just kind of know what she's doing, she doesn't at all.
Next. Hey, ND5? How do you know if you, made the right call with a syndicate?
This is the underworld. If any work is to be done, no one can hold a grudge.
Right, yeah, that's what I thought.
It's like if you watched, the trailers for the cool parts, like the fights and stuff of Empire, were the trailers for A New Hope. So you're seeing all these cool fights and him doing the flips and like learning Jedi training. And then you start the movie and he's like, I'm just a farm boy. And you're like, that's not what you sold me. And so I think it was a huge disservice to just have, kind of this character that they're like, you're going to be this character. And she doesn't embody that character at all. I mean, she will basically, like, if she needed to get into an Imperial base, she would like walk into a busy cantina, go up to the bartender and say out loud, not out loud, but like enough for people to hear, to be like, I need codes to get into this base. Do you know somebody? Oh, by the way, my name's Kay Vest. And it's like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? Like, that's not how this is done at all. And I'm not even in this world. Like, and you're giving out your real name. Like, what are we doing here? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I don't think it helps the character at all. And there's something about, and I know this isn't made by Disney, this is made by Ubisoft, but her entire like dialogue is that like Disney ass, like, oh, they're behind me, aren't they, type vibe.
Just like flying a speeder, right, Nix? Nope. That's not it. Sorry. That's fun.
And literally 50% of the time she's talking, she does it like the back heads like, oh, okay, I guess, yeah, I guess I'll, go do this thing for you. Thanks. By the way, my name's Kay Vest.
But she's not keen on strangers.
That's okay. Neither am I.
She hasn't been around lately. Maybe her friends in Kadua know where she is.
Kadua. Yeah, that's,
Just outside Mirogana. It's a wind fishing settlement.
right. Wind fishing. Obviously.
And it's just like, no confidence, no swag. Like, you have no idea what you're doing. I mean, literally, like, the beginning of the game is just like her kind of just like, all right, sure, I'll just do this thing. And it's just like, what the? So it's just like, there's no reason for me to like her at all. And this game wants me to like her. And it's just like, maybe if you told me that I was kind of being thrust into this and like learning the way, it would make more sense. But it just feels like she has no clue what she's really doing. And I don't know what they were thinking about this. Kind of last part that really dragged this game down is the story itself. So basically she robs kind of this group, and she's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go do this heist. And even when you rob the group, she's like, I gotta get out of here. And she's like running away. And I don't remember if the music was hitting. I feel like it wasn't. But the whole point was like, it's not like Uncharted where people are like blasting at you and this big cinematic like thing is going on. It's just like you going through a back alley, but she's talking as if she's being chased. And it's like,
Okay, we got the identicard. The hook. We'll be safe there. We lay low for a while. We don't leave the attic. Yeah. Come on, back to the cantina. It's the only place we'll be safe.
girl, there ain't nobody behind us. We can stroll back home. Like, it really ain't a big deal. And then kind of your dad is like, hey, I found this group that's like, you know, willing to do this heist. Go meet up with them. You go meet up with them. And you immediately take off to the heist. There's no like back. They don't talk. They just go. And literally as they drop you off, you're like, what do you want me to do? And they're like, just go into the thing and open the vault. It's like, where's the storytelling? Where's the setup? Things are just happening and no one's talking about it. And then pretty much the majority of the entire game is just you, because that heist goes wrong, spoilers. And so you need to build a crew to go on a new heist. And nothing against the characters themselves, but as you start to kind of assemble your team, you can kind of hear them talking to each other, and especially like parts of the story as if they're friends. And it's like, no, this is more of like a Ocean's 11, like we're just gathering these people to do a job, but you're not spending enough time with them or anything like that. You're not doing really their side missions for you to like really get to know them. So the fact that they're talking like, oh yeah, we're friends, we gotta like stick together and blah, it's like, I don't know you like that at all. Like, and not only as like Kay herself, but like as the player, I'm like, I don't really know these characters. I can't really give you like deep details of like, oh my god, when this happened, like I know this person does this person does that, and this person does that. Like, and then yeah, you eventually end up going on the heist, and, you know, whatever happens. In terms of like the entire story, there was only one real part that sticks out in my mind. I was like, oh, this is fucking cool. And it's the end credits scene where I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then the game just ends and it's like, all right, cool. I'm glad I played 20 hours to be super hyped for an ending for a game I'm never gonna get a sequel to. Like, this game just kind of rushes through everything and is like, you're attached to this, right? And I'm like, not really. I couldn't really tell you the minor details of this basic ass story. This whole game really is just a myriad of fetch quests as Kay, who again has no clue what she's doing, continues to get things that she needs by finding people, being like, hey, I need this thing. And they're like, well, I'll give you this thing if you do this thing. And that's kind of like the entirety of the game. And I couldn't attach to it. And yeah, just like all of these things just don't work. And I would be remiss, because I just remember, because I'm doing all this yapping, there's no script. One of the biggest sins of this game, aside from the stuff I just said, and I don't know how I missed it in the speeder part, is when you're on your speeder, you can't pull out your blaster and start blasting. When I had those death squads go for me every time I head out, you have this like dead eye meter where everything slows down, you kind of pick your targets, and then you start blasting. You have to fill that up every time you're being chased on your speeder, or you have to get off your speeder, blast them, and then get back on your speeder. And it's like, I don't know how they didn't see that as a major fix of like the list of things that needs to be done. And so you dead eye, you blast those people, and God forbid you run into a separate group like bandits or troopers or something. Then you have to run around or like, you know, drive around, fill it up again, and then start blasting again. I ended up setting the like little meter thing to easy just so it would fill up faster, because that was the only way I could take out people rather than me actually getting off the speeder, blasting people, and then getting back on. And so I bring this last point up just to say, like, the whole game as itself is just like, I don't know how some obvious things were left out when you're telling me that you want to give me a, like, basically Han Solo type game, and you're missing something as simple as just me pulling out my blaster, you know, on my speeder, or simply hijacking you know, other people's speeders that have like the regular speeder, or, you know, building a story that actually has me connect with the characters. And if we're gonna have a little buddy, like, have a little buddy that I actually care about. Like, there's so many things in this game. It was just like, you missed the ball so hard. And this is the fixed version. There was one of the biggest issues I saw with the original thing I dropped was like, this game is like extremely sneaky. You're more of a spy than an outlaw, and like the moment you got caught, the entire mission would start over, which brought people's reviews down. So it's crazy that, like, me playing this fixed version, I give it a 6 out of 10. It's like, oh yeah, if that was the version that I played, this game would have been like a 4. Like, they just whiffed so hard that I'm just like, I'm not mad that I played it, but it's one of those games that I play and I'm like, man, if you had somehow done like some sort of like open beta or whatever, I know that's not how games work, but if you are just taking this feedback, giving it like another year, I really think they could have had an 8 out of 10, like, solid game. But unfortunately, that's not what we got. And again, I'm not mad that I played it, but it really is nothing to write home about. And as a Star Wars fan, if you want to have a decent experience, I recommend it. I mean, you can get through this story. I think I only stopped to do a couple side missions just because it was like, oh, here's like this upgrade or whatever. But I think I got it done in like 16 hours, which really isn't that bad. I'd say get it on sale. Again, I got it for $45. I'd say less than that if you can. But yeah, this game was just big disappointment, and again, I give it a 6 out of 10. It's really nothing special, but hey, I know people love the game. Let me know how you feel about Star Wars Outlaws in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.